In this episode of Valveverse, we're going to be continuing to work on my Honda Civic EK project. So I've got the EK out at the moment. I'm just going to get the gurney in this engine bay. As you can see, all this stuff's kind of like rusted and stuff. I'm not really used to dealing with rust because all my cars have been pretty well kept, but gonna see there's still like a wasp nest in there, and there's some more in the radiator fan shroud, just under there. It's just all dirty still back here. You can see just that color of that gearbox. So I'm gonna get the gurney in here, try and clean it up as much as I can. Obviously not get any electrical systems or in the intake. I've got the pod filter taken off at the moment, so I can put a bag over this so there's no water going in there. And yeah, just try and clean up everything in this engine bay because you can definitely tell it's been sitting. I originally thought this engine actually had a blown head gasket, but because I pulled the the oil cap a while ago and it had like see the milky white under there? I believe that's just the condensation coming through the motor because it sits for so long. Because the oil on the dipstick is still fine. The coolant's still fine, it's not losing any coolant, so I think it's all good to go, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it just to make sure that it's going to, stay good and not continue to damage itself. Alright, so I got the gurney. I'm just going to aim it at some areas and get started. Now once we've gurneyed the engine off, we're going to rip off this air intake cover and we're going to start the engine just to get all that water burning off. Now we just let everything dry off. You can see it's blowing a bit of smoke, but it only does this sometimes. I don't really know what the issue is, but it only does it sometimes, and it will misfire when it does it, as you can see. It gets to a low RPM and misfires. I don't know what the go is, but I'm going to replace the fuel filter and put some more fuel in it just to see if that makes it go away. Since you last saw the car on the channel, we've got a new OEM Honda head unit, it's second-hand obviously, but Honda head unit. I've got new front and back speakers. I still haven't got window winders here. But what I didn't see since the last view is there's a service sticker up here. And it says the next service is due at 326,000. It's currently on 317,000, which would mean this car was serviced 1,000 kilometers ago. But key thing is it says 2017, which was 5 years ago. So that means this car's been sitting for about 5 years, and I didn't know this when I bought the car, and I only just realized recently it explains a lot of things, especially because of the condition of the oil and stuff that was in the engine, and yeah, just sitting, just the engine bay quality and all the dirt and stuff in the engine bay. But yeah, as you can see, still pretty clean in here, but you can definitely tell it's been sitting. You can also see around the car bits of green moss hiding away, which would obviously be another telltale sign that it's been sitting. There's a few spots where you can see there's moss and stuff on this wiper. You can tell it's been sitting around, not driven, especially behind the Civic badge you can see. So yeah, I didn't know that had been sitting when I bought it, but obviously now I know. And here's what else I got for the EK. Brand new D16 head. It come with a turbo car, so the block was obviously done for definitely a D-series turbo, as you can tell, but yeah, going to port and polish this one up. So if I do need to pull the head for the head gasket, I'm going to slap a port and polish head on, just so I can get, that little bit of, 2 horsepower from the mighty D-series. So thought I'd keep it at single cam because it's something different. You can see here, the AC was regassed in 2005. Nice. I don't think there's any gas left in it anymore. As you can see, came with logbooks. I'm pretty sure the last service was only around 150,000 or something. I'll double check right now. Yeah, the last service in the logbook was 164,000, so I don't know if the logbook wasn't supplied to the mechanics or whatever, but I think it's obviously been serviced since then. There is new parts in the engine bay as well, like the new brake booster and brake fluid. I'm not going to sit here and say this car's in good condition. Just as you can see, dents there, a spot of rust there. This door isn't terrible, it's just that dent right there. But that door's pretty good. And that quarter's good. Tailgate's good. Just that little rust spot around there, which I'll probably tidy up anyway. Back bumper is pretty bad. You can see there's that crease in the guard there. Dent in the bumper there, but That quarter panel isn't bad, just apart from that dent. This door is absolutely atrocious. Dent there, scratches along here. Doesn't even line up properly. That guard's actually not bad. Front bumper, not bad either, but probably best to get a new one. And the roof and bonnet are good, just paint faded. The interior is actually in pretty good condition. Just that parts that are missing. But yeah, the seats aren't too bad. I've done like a upholstery clean on those, as you would have seen in the last video, but not bad. The gearbox actually feels really good. Nice and smooth. Definitely has had regular changes of the gearbox fluid, because you don't see that very often on on old Hondas. Going into gears nice and smooth, especially with the amount of Ks this has. Obviously a bit of shifter play, typical Honda. But yeah, pretty good, not bad. The ignition barrel is totally done. I can turn it to accessories, rip it out. It comes out in every one. So yeah, definitely need a new one of those. There's also a bit of rust here in the boot, unfortunately. Just along there, and there's also rust under the spare wheel. They're common spots, but nonetheless still a pain, so I'll have to grind that down and weld that back and paint it again, but all part of it. Because there's a CXI model as well, it doesn't have a tacho, it's just got the 2 gauges on either side, so I want to get a CRV cluster for it, just to add a tacho to it, or if I can find a normal manual EK cluster with a tacho, that would be good, but I'm just going to grab whatever I can get my hands on for cheap. It's a typical Honda, and the fact that first go, it should kick right over. Every time with the belt squeal. Hold faithful. Even though when we first got it, had like a bad oil and stuff, it still kicked over fine. With it being a CXI as well, we got the manual adjustable mirrors here. This one actually is broken, so if I wiggle it out, it just drops down and hangs down. So I need to fix that one up, but it's just because the middle connector isn't connected, so as you can see, it adjusts fine, but the middle thing isn't connected, so it won't sit there by itself. So I need to fix that too. So my plans with this car is just to clean it up. I want to get retroed, and I possibly be a daily driver, so I'm gonna continue to trace that issue down with the engine, and if I need to pull the head, well, so be it. I'm just gonna chuck that other head on that I'll put and polish, get a bit more horsepower of it. I thought I'd just keep it D-series. I don't need another massive project, because I've still got the Integra, obviously, and I still want to put all my money in that, but I thought this would be a cool side project. It was cheap, so definitely going to keep it and maybe daily it, but yeah, I really like it at the moment. It's a lot of work, but I enjoy it. There's not many cars you can say that about, but these cars are just so easy to work on. The D-series is so simple, like spark, fuel, and air, and you got a running engine basically with these things, so the engine's so small as well, you can just basically look at the back of the motor and stuff like that. I just really enjoy that. So that's going to wrap up this episode of Valve House. Thanks for coming along and watching, and don't forget to leave your comments about the issue with the engine down below, and just stay tuned for the next video.